The Wednesday that the GSU arrived at my house, I just gotten there about 10 minutes prior. I'd spoken to my wife at the time. I asked her if she needed something to eat. I got home. 10 minutes later, they show up. They show up there and they raid the house. Basically, I open the door for them. They come inside, and they proceed to search the entire property. I can't really divulge much more into that because it's ongoing. My attorneys have told me basically just to claim that, or just to maintain my innocence, which I am innocent. The funny part about this whole scenario is that I am not the owner, nor was I the home that I was in at that current moment. I did not have possession of. It actually belonged to my wife, which I just married. I have a store in Orange Walk. I have my home in Orange Walk. And I had just moved all my stuff there on Saturday of that week, 4 days prior. Now, the water bill is not in my name, the light bill is not in my name, the lease is not in my name. However, for some reason, the protocol that I understand, that everybody under the age or above the age of 13 should have been charged with that offense. I don't understand quite well why the protocols were not followed. Now, we have a situation where I was, in a sense, targeted. I call it somewhat of a witch hunt because no one is that bad lucky that they'll get the GSU coming at you first, then a media house present when the GSU is doing a raid, and then the U.S. government being called in to do what I call a wild goose chase on a situation with myself. I served a brief stint in prison according to law, and I was released. I was released actually this Friday.
No, sir, you made reference to a witch hunt. Could you go into a little bit more detail there? What do you think happened? Go ahead.
I say that because of the extent of the coverage that has been given my case. Number one, and I say that also because of the protocols that weren't followed. The protocol where my wife, Amber Edwards, was never charged. Not that I wanted her to be, but just those protocols, just breaking those protocols, to me seemed suspicious. Number two, she has very close family ties with a media house here that really made a great deal out of something. They just made a grandiose scheme, in my eyes, over things that were, prior to this date, touched upon by the police before. And they had come to terms that they could not have done me anything because I am a Belizean. So to me, it's just a little weird.
So you believe you were set up?
I believe the problem with being involved in all this is that it is an ongoing process, and having an attorney and having their advice, they're basically telling me to stay away from that. But the way it looks, the process that didn't take place and everything else that came after that, it's a little